The recording?
Yeah, we're recording.
All right. Episode 2. Oh, that was a little off, but it's okay.
We had a technical difficulty.
We did have a technical difficulty. I think that I was too passionate and the camera was over it, but it's fine. I'll get back into the passion. First things first, some shout outs for people that engaged with us, gave us feedback on Instagram. We had let me find my notes, at ChimpanJB, Jordan. Thank you, Uncle Jordan. He sends Prince clothes every so often. We appreciate it. Also at Eat Bad Oven, at 12 Paws Ice Cream, all that ube love, and at Paige Victoria Smith for agreeing with that struggling artist narrative. It does not serve us. We appreciate that. That's all on Instagram.
And on YouTube, we had Jordan back in the comment streets.
2 times.
Thank you, Jordan. Much appreciated. And we had Eric D as well. Thanks for the love, everybody.
Yeah, and we also do need to change the title of episode 1.
Yeah. We were supposed to title it, Some People Keep a Proverb on Their Tongue, but we keep a yawn in our mouth.
Lots of yawns that episode. We'll see if you get more this episode. But for shit we don't like, first segment, you ready?
I'm ready. What's your topic today?
My topic is tokenism. I do not like tokenism. And I wrote about it a few days ago because I woke up just thinking about how infuriating it is to be the token, but also how marginalized people are typically only celebrated and acknowledged and paid and all of these things during their visibility months. Whether it's Black History Month, whether it's Pride Month, whether it's Trans Visibility Month, this, that, and the other. And it's like, I didn't know I had the superpower of invisibility because apparently I do on months that aren't about my race or my identity in any way. And that just irritates me because it should be an all the time thing. Like it feels and we see all the time that corporations, especially like companies, they get so much profit off of designing these products, designing this content, everything during those visibility months. During those months where it's like, oh, it's trendy to care about Black people. It's trendy to care about the queer community. Like, I'm just over that. I'm over that. I'm over tokenism. And also, it's not easy to be the token in any situation because it sucks to have to carry the weight of thinking that, like, all these people that you're surrounded by think that you speak for that entire community that you happen to be involved in. It's like, we're not all the same. We're just not. And so tokenism really grinds my gears.
I thought that tokenism for you was going to be more corporate. Like,
tokenism happens all the time.
When you go to a company or you go to a job and you like look around and you're just like, damn.
I mean, that happens too. Like, but it happens even in this creative life where brands will reach out and they're like, we really like your look. And then you go to their page and it's like, there ain't no one that looks like me. You just need an afro for your Black History Month or for your Let's Support Black Lives or for your we are finally listening to Black women. That's tokenism. I'm not trying to be the token.
I feel like they reach out to you. Nobody reach out to me ever.
They reach out to me all the time. And it's irritating. Like, also,
is it because you're
if
good
you
with
don't
emails?
have the money to pay me, my exposure does not pay my bills, but that's for another episode.
Do they email these things?
They email, they DM, or they do these dumb comments, which I don't think any of these are real. The comments that are like, send us a DM. It's like, don't comment and expect me to do the work to reach out to you because I'm not going to do the work for you. I'm not going to do the work for you. I'm not going to do the work for you. I'm not going to be your token. You can run me a check. Run me a check.
I thought that's what they was trying to do then. If they emailing you.
They're not. Like, if you go, it's like if you go
free.
to their page and you see it's just like whitewashed, they don't care.
I feel like they reach out to you because you look like you got a friendlier face to people. People look at me and go,
It's fine if I look like I got a friendly face, but I'm not putting up with it.
I think people look at my face and go, nope. Been there.
I don't know. But yeah, I don't like tokenism, and it actually like falls in line.
Have you ever been a token before?
I've been a token so many times.
Give me an example.
I was a token in corporate America. Okay. I was a director of marketing.
Wait, go back. Okay. What was corporate America for you?
I was a director of marketing for 5 years.
Oh, wow. That's top. That's some high-end corporate.
It was exhausting. But I was a token in a lot of ways, in more ways than one. One, I was a woman in that industry. Two, I was a woman of color in that industry. That was not typical. I remember going to conferences, and it was like rarely any women, and it was a very white space. And it's just like, okay, but they'd all ask for my opinion. I was also very young. So I remember in particular this one conference, they did an entire like workshop about why they should hire millennials. And they asked me every question and were like, so what do millennials want? And I was just like, I don't speak for all millennials. I really don't. So that was the weirdest form of tokenism for me, because I was like, oh, I didn't realize like I could also be a token for my generation. So there's generational tokenism, there's racial tokenism, there's gender tokenism. There are so many layers to this tokenism. And every company I worked for, so I worked for the same company, but it was franchised. So I went to 2 different franchises. Both of them made sure that my picture was somewhere, made sure that, it showed diversity. They sent me to all the like meetings that were like very customer facing, this, that, and the other, which like, yes, part of my job, but a lot of times it wasn't part of my job. Also, even after I left corporate America, I was a manager somewhere in a coffee shop, and they sent me to pick up a check. I thought I was literally picking up a check, No, I got there. It was a whole photo shoot with those like big checks. They needed a person of color.
They do it to you though because you look friendly. They never try to tokenize me.
No excuse.
I don't want to be tokenized, but at the same time, it's like they never look at my photos and go, "That one right there."
I mean, I am pretty photogenic.
It's like they just know better.
No, but no, I don't like that. I don't like that feeling. It doesn't feel good. It makes you feel like you're just being used and not for your what you're like. I get a lot of my value in my work ethic. And in moments like that, it doesn't feel like my work ethic matters. It really just feels like they care about the look, what it will look like to any outside viewer. I don't like that feeling. No. Show them how hard I work. Show them that I made your company a multi-million-dollar company by creating an entire system that you didn't have before. Let's talk about
your
that.
shit. Talk your shit.
Let's talk about that. Let's not talk about oh, cool, you're this great company for diversity because you did it. You got that one diversity hire. But man, she's a game changer.
So when you're in corporate America, are you allowed to do something like you go in the market and you're the token, but then you get the other black person, and then you only refer only black people? It's never going to be a scenario where it goes from one black person to Google is now only black people. That don't work.
I don't think so. I think that takes a lot of intricate.
You know what I think about tokenism?
What?
I think tokenism can sometimes be a form of oppression.
It is.
I think that the reason that they tokenize is because when you say welcome, we have to have you, they don't bring up the part, but what we really get is we don't have to say welcome to anybody else.
Yeah, because they got their diversity hire, whatever that means.
When we get tired of your ass, we gonna find another one just like you, but talk just a little less. That's why I never trust. All right, goodbye. A lot of advertising in our future. I never trust corporate people. I just never do. We're going to lose so much.
It's hard to trust
advertising, but I feel like even smiling black corporate people, I'm like, what they do to you, brother?
I just like, I don't want to ever have to compromise myself to be in a job, like to make money. Like I don't want to, which does go into what you don't like. The shit that you don't like is like, oftentimes if you are a token, you are also often forced to
code switch. I'd be okay if actually I don't want to be the only black person there. I'm saying if I was allowed to be myself, they don't let you be yourself, and they make you act different. They make you act palatable to them. Who's them, Corey? Say it. Say who them is. I bet you won't say it.
The whites.
No,
it's like
we lost all that. No,
it's not even about that. It's like, I don't ever want to compromise myself. I should not have to change the way that I do my hair. I shouldn't have to change the way that I dress. I shouldn't have to change the way that I speak. And okay, going back to dress, like, of course, certain environments do have a dress code. But what I'm saying is, like, I would sometimes get in trouble for if my clothing had too many patterns, and typically if they were tribal patterns.
You couldn't wear tribal patterns?
No, and I couldn't wear certain head
Your
wraps.
company oppressed tribal patterns?
They were controversial.
Why were they
didn't get hired. I did not get hired at Starbucks because my hair was too controversial.
Starbies?
Yeah. And you know what? My hair was not controversial. I had a blonde mohawk. It was very cute. It was not controversial. I saw people up in there with green hair, pink hair, purple. Please explain to me why my hair was controversial. But
they said you look like the type of black person that talked to authority.
You look like you won't code switch,
which
is true. Like I don't want to change up my.
You
like I don't want to
better change everything so that we'll know you'll change everything for us.
But there's no authenticity. It was like there.
don't let an ounce of yourself walk through that door.
And why should I have to?
We need it to be our company.
Why should I have to hang
your
my
body?
Skin up like a coat and walk in and be somebody else?
Did they pay
and then go back out the door?
But did they pay you good?
They did pay me well, but it still wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth me constantly feeling like I have to clock in as one person, and then I finally get to fully take my bra off and breathe in every sense of the word.
I feel like they never pay enough.
Oh, I mean, it wasn't worth me compromising who I am.
That's
like,
right.
It just wasn't.
That's right. You know what? But would you argue that some people have to code switch? Some people have to.
Like, and especially in certain industries, you do have to code switch in order to be in a position where you can begin to make change. Like, let's think, like, if you're in politics, if you are in law, like lawyers, if you are in very, very corporate settings where change typically comes from, so it's in the higher level, like, to a point, you are going to have to code switch in order to get where you want to be. And I don't like that.
That's what they keep saying. I don't believe it.
Yeah, but Taryn, even if you had a PhD in whatever.
Look, you looking at it wrong, Corey. You thinking wrong. Think about it.
But I'm saying we shouldn't have to code switch, but that's the way society's set up.
But what about this? All black people stop code switching same day.
Some people are brought up in homes and families and everything where code switching is ingrained in who they are. So how are you going to unlearn that much behavior and like that? How?
I feel like you just got to go to one family reunion and get roasted.
Maybe. You going to plan on the family reunions?
Imagine showing up to the family reunion with some potato salad that nobody touched. In your corporate best, and then all of a sudden some folk just ask you, what's your problem? You look like you supposed to be at work.
You wouldn't code switch with your family. Like, the people don't do, like, that's not when you
code
switch.
But it's like if someone was brought up where their whole life they've just been.
But they're not code switching within their family. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't know. Some people that's just who they are. They're Brian Gumble 24/7.
Oh God. Listen. Here's the thing. I think that something that I've always admired about you is, like, you don't ever code switch. Like, you are always the same. And I do think it does make certain people uncomfortable because they haven't realized their own authentic selves enough to realize like they are free to be themselves no matter the setting. They're free to be unapologetically black. They are free to be unapologetically queer. They are free to be, you know, like whatever that is. We got a little audience over here. This little boy is just looking in the
I ain't even
looking in the window.
I didn't even notice him.
But like that is such an incredible thing. It's also an incredible feeling to be able to embrace that.
Do the people that create the conditions to code switch themselves?
I don't know, do they?
I don't know. I think that it's a form of repression because I think that white people are allowed to just be white all the time. You know, I think that white people's the white people that code switch, their version is white people that talk street when they're around black people. Because you can always tell they lay it on way too thick.
I mean, there is like that's a form of code switching.
It'll be
well.
like when you around a white person and you're like, where did you come? Where are you from?
Like they get too comfortable.
And then they're like, oh, you know me, and then they'll like say a place where you're just like, that's a suburb. And then they're like, yeah, we love to do that. And you like, I know you don't push your tongue out that much when you talk. Like, if you ever had,
yeah, I know what you're talking
you know what I'm talking about?
But,
like when a white person's like, hey, how, it's like there's levels to it. There's like
that was different.
There's like the white person that calls you brother or sister. That person's not really code switching, just being offensive. And then below that, you have like the uncomfortable around black people, but they're just going to be like, hey, yeah, that's fly. Like they're going to say what they thought black people said back when they were
using language.
Yeah, like they're going to use like, it's like, oh, when I was in college 20 years ago, I think all the black people said this. I'm going to say this to that black person. They'll think I'm an insider.
I mean, yeah, that is also code switching.
Yeah, like, but the thing is like, they do that shit and it don't matter. Then they want us to be all up in they shit, code switching and shit. And it's like, I ain't got time for that shit. Damn it. You can only be so great code switching. Imagine if Michael Jordan put his tongue out and then went over to get interviewed and was just like, hey, Carol. Wow, basketball. What? It is a game. It is the fundamentals. Hey, shout out to my fellow basketball players. Larry Bird. Wow, great athlete. Just naming all the white players and just being like,
okay,
yeah.
How
that wouldn't feel right. Jordan ain't scoring them buckets.
How do you get to a place where you no longer code switch?
You gotta search deep in yourself, and if you see, you gotta imagine your spirit animal.
No, I hate that.
Close your eye.
Nope,
no,
we don't
you
do
didn't
that
let
here.
me. You didn't let me finish.
We do not do spirit animal here. No, we don't.
I was gonna say if your spirit animal.
We don't do that.
I think my spirit animal.
We don't.
Why?
We don't do that.
Why?
Because you can't even tell me which Native American tribe you are from.
Nigga,
so no, I can.
Shit.
But no, we're not doing that here.
My mama got Native American blood.
We don't do spirit animals here.
We're not appropriating. When did spirit animals become a problem?
Anyway, you can check your spirit. I'm just.
I was gonna, okay. Check your spirit to see if there's a black echo at least. Hovering.
An echo is not an animal. This is why we don't do that.
How you going to This is how she canceled me while we talking.
I didn't cancel you because you're still here and talking.
I'm just saying. It's like you got to look in yourself.
You have to find your most authentic self and
be
that.
Look in yourself and go, where is the energy?
And know some that people, you are free to be black you.
And some people, it's in damn Brian Gumble.
Shut up.
It's true.
Code switching is not just racially, though. Like, people, like, I assume, this is not my experience.
I heard that Brian Gumble bleached his shadow.
Why are you even giving that name a platform here? We don't
What's
need
wrong
to do
with
that.
Brian Gumble?
Why do you want to stop saying his name? Not necessary.
Black man.
So
Making it
there's
in
so
America.
many others. Anyway.
I heard Sammy Sosa bleached his shadow.
Anyway, we don't like tokenism and we don't like code switching. They don't serve us. So we're not going to do that.
Did you used to code switch?
I did. But okay, so I had like my customer service voice, which like I could still turn it on. I had to turn it on when I was trying to get your glasses from the damn lens crafters.
Yeah, but you didn't sound like you was code switching at the end.
I wasn't, because I was like, oh, yes, you're not gonna take my, you're not gonna receive my request.
What's your code switch voice? Is it like a gentle? Is it like I'm not gonna hurt you?
No, what I did for your glasses, I was like, hey, I'm calling on behalf of Taryn, and he is. Oh, I said your last name. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Let me look at the timestamp.
Yeah.
Beep that out.
I'm so sorry. Anyway, I said, I'm calling on behalf of Taryn JD, and he is traveling right now and his glasses broke in half, and I need to get his prescription so that we can get him replacements as soon as possible. She was like, she looked it up. She was like, I can't release that information. And so I proceeded, and I was like, well, can you please give me some options of what we could do in the meantime? Because he currently cannot see and he needs glasses. Then she still wasn't having it. And I said, so you're really not going to give me any solutions? Like, you don't have any options?
She
that's how I switched it up.
From going hard to go. Well, she started soft, and then she made, in the words of 21 Savage, she turned a lot of soft to something hard.
Yeah. I was like, okay, well, clearly that didn't work. It wouldn't have mattered. So I tried, didn't work. Should have just went out the gate with my full authentic self.
See, I went to a black high school where no one had a code switch. Even the white kids didn't code switch. The white kids knew better than to like try to act black.
I wasn't raised around enough
They were just
black
like,
people.
hey, I am a white person. I'm very white. And hi, I'm just enjoying my life. But you should enjoy your life too. It was great.
I think there was a blessing for me, like, in an odd way. Like, I wasn't raised around enough black people to know that code switching was needed. Like, I was just always kind of goofy and just myself. And I've stayed pretty free my whole life. So I'm thankful for that. But in corporate America, I definitely customer service
but you
voice.
got hired into corporate America. Like, you went to college, got out in 4 years.
I wore a cardigan to my interview, and I'm confident that's what sold me.
You were like, how's it going? My name's Corey.
It was a cute little, like, seafoam.
I bet you were laughing during your interview process. You were probably like,
yeah.
Yes.
You know? Whatever gets
They were
the
like,
job
they were
done.
like, she laughs. Oh, she smiles.
They
and
did
laughs.
tell me I was very charismatic, which
Corey
that's why I was
trying
great
to
at
get
marketing.
that paper. Corey was
Still
like,
great.
time to get that money.
Still great at marketing.
See, I liked my first example. The first time I'd never had a code switch was at my high school. Went to high school in Indianapolis. Went to Lawrence North, home of the Wildcats.
Ellen.
That's right. And I remember.
I went to LC, but it was stood for Liberty Christian.
Yeah, you didn't go to Lawrence Central.
Sure did not.
I just remember it was like the high school. I was told first day they were like, a fight happens every day. I remember I used to go to a school in the suburbs, and one day they were like, hey, we're going to play Lawrence North, and that team, like, everyone has one of those, like, do-rags, and the white kids
were they scared?
The white kids were afraid because
of do-rags.
Our football team, the players would have do-rags.
They got to keep them weights on swim.
Mm-hmm. And
they didn't understand that.
I remember when I switched to Lawrence North, I just was just in the thick of, look, this is black culture in Indianapolis, and you will find your place here very quickly. Do not pretend to be someone you are not. And
they taught you young.
I found out that, I found out later that I'm a black nerd, but I learned at Lawrence North that, Let's not go into Lawrence North, y'all. Anyway, I didn't have to code switch. I loved it. High school was great for me.
Code switching, tokenism,
Boo.
they do not serve us. We do not allow those around these parts.
That's right.
No, thank you.
Does that mean we switch in segments?
Yeah.
Let me make a note of the time.
We're moving into shit we're creating. Did you want to go first on this one?
You go.
All right. Shit that I'm creating. Well, it's kind of more past tense. This past week, released another issue of Coffee People Zine. I took that picture. I also took issue 10's picture. They're great. They pair so well together, honestly. Look at that. Look at that.
You and your friend.
So beautiful.
You and your friends.
These are both my friends. They're great. At the Natty Nut and at Full Body Sweet Finish on Instagram. They're great humans. They really worked with me on that. So that's something. Also, jewelry, you know, doing that upcycling, repurpose life. All of these are silverware, or they used to be. Well, they still are, but they've been changed up to something new. And I'm still in the thick of working on my book. Actually, just 2 days ago, I hit submit on my application to receive a grant that will pay for the majority of the publication of my book, set to release next June. So I'm super, super excited about all of that. You can get the full scope of updates on my Patreon, which is patreon.com/Hoosier Queen. All that information is there.
How you spell Hoosier?
HOOSIER Queen. Hoosier, like Indiana. You know what that's from?
No.
1-on-1.
Oh, I was going to say no one says that in Indiana.
No, they don't. But that's like, you know, Brianna from 1-on-1. You know, okay, yeah, whatever. But also, in relation to Coffee People, this past weekend, we hosted Shamba Free, which means free farm free, out where we live. And it was a great time. We celebrated Juneteenth and the release of Coffee People issue 13. But Juneteenth was just great. We got to spend a lot of time with our community and our friends.
What's Juneteenth for those that don't know?
Juneteenth celebrates our freedom. Black people's
freedom. Freedom from who? Say it. You ain't gonna say it. You ain't gonna say it.
Say what? It celebrates freedom from no longer being enslaved people.
By who? Who was we enslaved by? Say it. I bet you.
The whites.
Damn, Corey. Damn. You've been bringing up the whites a lot this issue.
You've egged it on. I can't not.
I just like saying it.
I know.
Like say it then. Say it.
But yeah, I got to have two great friends. That's not recording. All
right, so we are having technical difficulties. Second episode.
But as I was saying, we celebrated Juneteenth, Shamba Free Farm out at our home, and we got to have some great people out, members of our community, but also got to have two of my great friends from Philly come down and perform. At I Am Namara on Instagram is fundraising for her current tour. Incredible musician, incredible performer. Literally put on a 1-person production out at our place. Also at I Am Synovia on Instagram. Movement therapy. Felt good to just move and dance and be free with them, and also just spend some time with them. Is like, I hadn't seen them in way too long. And it was beautiful. It was just like a lot of expression, and that felt so good for me, and it tied in so perfectly with my book entitled Free. I felt like, I don't know, it was just a day for me to totally see a lot of full circle moments, so that felt good.
I like that. Well, you definitely had more elaborate lists than I had.
I had a lot this time.
Just been working on flash designs, finished a sheet. Corey pretty much told me I should make it
I love it.
Corey tells me
You
that.
should have had one so you could show off. It's the Ninja Turtles.
I haven't even posted on Instagram yet.
It's coming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but Corey was like, you should make the Ninja Turtles as a resistance crab.
Don't start the yawns.
What?
Don't start them.
I
I'm not
need
going to catch it this time.
Yes, he will.
Nope.
They say that they're contagious.
This has caffeine in it. I'm really obsessed with these right now, too.
Corey is obsessed with those right now.
They just like feel good, taste good.
I feel good, taste good.
Lurb it.
Lurb it.
Love.
Lurb it.
Yeah. Anyway, you're working on Flash.
Been working on Flash. Worked on some Ninja Turtles.
More resistance
Came
critters.
up with a new way of
Stop.
illustrating. What? Sometimes you yawn. This is what happens. We record late night.
You get some oxygen.
Also, was working on that little. I don't know. Just been working on some little arts.
Mm-hmm. Is that all for your shit we're creating?
For this week, yeah.
Cool.
Light work.
Awesome. Well, then, shit we like. Did you want to go first?
I'll go first.
Go for it.
So the shit we like.
I feel like you're doing it on purpose now.
I got a yawn in my mouth.
You don't have to yawn so fiercely into the microphone. That was like, you got into that mic. Oh, is that going to be the title? You don't have to yawn so fiercely into the microphone? Yeah, I should be typing because I can type faster, but it's okay.
I'm not a fast typer.
Anyway, what you like? What's your subject matter?
So, what I like is, I feel like I've been growing into my 30s.
What does that mean?
It means I'm getting to reframe who the person I'm going to be for my 30s. First, I thought that the 30s was just going to be a continuation of the 20s.
Sounds like your 30s is tired with all the yawning you're doing.
I mean, it's a little bit hard.
But do you feel like you kind of like crossed a threshold, like leaving the 20s decades and stepping into your 30s?
I think that 30 felt like the last year of the 20s, and 31 feels like
you're officially in it.
It's like, here's your life. Oh, you thought it was going to be the same? It's not.
Yeah,
Figure it all out again.
I feel like you're giving yourself the full freedom to like fully explore who you are and to live your most authentic self. You're living your best life.
I ain't going back and forth with you niggas.
Exactly. That honestly leads into the shit that I like is authenticity. I'm really here for just like authentic relationships, authentic personhood. Because if you can't be authentic, I just really don't think that I need you in my life. I'm having to set some hard boundaries with people that are not authentic because it really fucks with my peace.
What's a sign of someone not being authentic?
Manipulation, gaslighting, inconsistencies, just with like they're like the stories that they tell, but also just like with what they share, you know, like you just know you get these inconsistencies and stuff. And so there's a lack of authenticity there. I also think like if you're not comfortable with somebody, it's hard to be transparent just because you don't have that trust built. But like once that trust is built, if you can't be transparent with me, I don't know, like I like to go deep. So when I'm in relationship with somebody, we're doing this. Like we're going all in. I'm making you part of my community, which like sometimes you and I both are guilty of this. Like we do it quicker than we should because we just like have big hearts. We want to welcome people into the fold of our lives. But it's like if you cannot be authentic, or at least like can like grow in authenticity. I need to see that there is forward motion with that you are committed to being your most authentic self. And if your most authentic self is that you are just sometimes shady, fine. I can accept that. If you own that, like just own who you are, have ownership in who you are. And that is authentic to me. I can choose then if I want to set a boundary to not be around you as much. But I got to have that. And I think like with me, that's definitely been more in my 30s.
That's that life code switching where you even switch the person you are.
Yeah.
Just to get ahead. You like, I could be myself, but that won't get me nowhere. How about I lie?
Yeah. I don't have room for that. I don't have time for that.
I don't like it.
We're too old for that.
Too damn old.
I'm too old. I'm too tired.
You gotta be such a kid to be switching up all the damn time.
I don't have time.
It's like when there was the new school year, everybody fresh day one. It's like, be dirty. You was dirty.
Be dirty.
You was dirty yesterday. Be dirty today.
I'm gonna wear my new school kicks.
Everybody, yeah, but then it's like there's a timeline to when everybody drop out. It's like some people is 6 days. You gotta get
comfortable.
Some people is 6 days before they wore out all their new school outfits, and then the cool kid, they just stay with the new.
Yeah, I mean it's a learning curve. It is. It's like, but I like it. I love an authentic person. I love a transparent person. I love a vulnerable person, and that is hard. It is hard. It is hard to learn. It's a hard practice, but I love me some good, honest, pure, authentic conversations.
How do you feel?
I can't understand you with a yawn in your mouth.
How do you feel about our honest conversations?
I think that we have really great, honest conversations. Like the most honest that I've been able to have in a partnership ever. And I'm thankful for that. Like even when they're tough, we had some tough conversations today. Even when they're tough, like, but they're still authentic. Like you can say to me, I can say to you, like, I'm struggling with this thing. And we're going to ride that roller coaster together. So it's like, I can meet you where you are the best when you're authentic. That's with anybody. But we have been like, I feel like very conscious of that with one another. So I think that's something that we both really need.
I don't want no phony people in my life.
If you couldn't catch that, he don't want no phony people in his life.
I don't want no phony
yawn.
People. Once you say yawn, you gotta yawn.
That's not true.
Sometimes
yawn,
it's true.
yawn.
Sometimes it's true.
Nope.
You think that people listen this far?
We'll see. We will find out.
If you listen this far, make a comment if you want to be shouted out in the next one. You gotta be like, hey yo, I made it that far. You know me.
And you can get shouted out more than once. So
yep, you can get shouted out more than once because we got a little tiny operation. Just a little few people out there listening to us right now.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel like it's about time to wrap this show up. Cause it's late. It is pretty late.
We were
That's
supposed
Taryn
to start
Yawn
filming
speak.
at 6.
We were, but we stumbled upon a sushi bar.
We stumbled on a sushi.
All you can
belt.
eat sushi conveyor belt place. It was great. But yeah, until next time. Corey here, signing off.
Taryn here, signing off as well.
We're from Indiana.
We're still from Indiana.
We are.
Great episode.
Cut.